It's Coach Keyton and Crawford on the Crawford Podcasting Network with Coach Kerry Keyton, myself, Tom Crawford, a little blurry-eyed from watching football all day, in
All day.
particular, hanging in there until 1 o'clock. I couldn't handle it after. I'm an old man. I got my issues with my jaw, and then I had head cold and sore throat. So I taped the game, USC, Michigan State, and watched the second half this morning without knowing who lost. But my man, Kerry Keyton, he went, what time? 3 a.m. that game, real time, end here, Eastern time?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. 3, yeah.
Oh,
I don't even remember looking.
Lord. This is a part of this expansive Big Ten conference that I have a problem with. I have a problem with. We shouldn't be watching your team at 11 o'clock kickoff time. It's just not right, in my opinion.
I would say, I mean, it wasn't horribly bad, but I mean I get it. And the money's obviously gonna run everything. I mean, it is what it is at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You would just like to, maybe a 7 o'clock start.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I know. I know it's TV, and God, I mean, you really have to be a diehard if you don't have a team in the hunt.
Right.
You just have to be a college football nerd to stay up till 2 a.m.
Right. Well, a 7 o'clock. They shouldn't have any, because even when my brother was at Arizona State, they played all their games at night for the most part.
Yeah.
They started at 7.
Yeah.
And 7 to 10 o'clock here. So I mean,
you're right. But they had that Indiana. Oh God, that debacle down in Bloomington. We'll talk about that.
Kurt Signetti. Hey, Tom Crawford. Kurt Signetti said, "Google me to Tom Crawford, baby."
Okay. You can Google me, and I will bow down to you right now, Kurt Signetti, because your team looks magnificent. But we're talking about the schedule next week. They go to Iowa, a tough defensive team.
They're gonna beat the brakes off of Iowa too.
Beat the brakes off them. Okay, let's talk. Well, our two teams played. Our Michigan played Nebraska 3:30. We'll talk about that. Secondly, after this game that ended last night, as we're getting up this morning and breaking it down. But I will say this: a 45-31 victory for Lincoln Riley's Trojans, who have a lot of weapons.
A lot of weapons. And their best one wasn't even playing.
Jacoby Lane did not play. Yeah. He's a NFL.
Oh, without a doubt.
First round.
Yeah.
I'm not just kissing butt here. I thought, especially after the horrific injury to Wayne Matthews and all the disconcerting looks on all the faces at the end of the half. I thought Michigan State showed a lot of moxie. Now their defense is a problem to themselves.
True.
But that offense is improving, and I think they can compete in most of these games. And I think Aiden Childs, every time I see him, he seems to be getting a little bit better, even though there's some open looks that he blew last night. Your thoughts?
Sure. You're 100% correct. That we're getting better. Defensively is definitely a struggle right now, and as we talked earlier, you could see, in my opinion, you could see just that level of how much better they were on offense than we are on defense. And I think the biggest thing is, like, defense, you can have schemes and you can have players and this and that, whatever, but you have to have difference makers, especially in the front four, a little bit to the front seven, that can make plays out of context. Like, you need to be able to make plays one-on-one and get to the quarterback. I can't just have to keep designing stuff for you to get pressures, and we don't have enough difference makers up front against good, because we all know that Lincoln Riley's offense is going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
It's their defense that was holding them up. So that was very glaring in my eyes. Like, and they're just way faster than us. We just aren't fast enough on defense, and but we're better, obviously. But we just have to get better. And again, injuries, losing Jordan Hall to the targeting didn't help any. Now we're moving people around. The collision with Martinez and
yeah, that was bad. That was a bad sequence.
That was enough, boom, 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 boom. So that way, as far as Aiden's concerned, again, not making the big mistake for us that we cannot afford to, again, because the margins are so small, we have to be dang near perfect. But he just got the guys that are wide open. We have to. When we talk about it at East Lansing all the time, we talked about it at Everett all the time. When you have the opportunity to make plays, you have to make the play. The guys are wide open. You have to hit those guys.
Well, he did hit some. I thought Jade Maeva, the quarterback for USC, is really good. He was good last year. He's even better this year.
Yeah.
And speaking of USC's defense, that's been their liability. But this Eric Gentry, this 18, this octopi with the wingspan, this long looking, he looks like a racehorse. That dude is a dude.
He
Man,
is
I like to have him on my team. He made plays.
He is a special player. And if you watch, the biggest thing, like if anybody's taped the game, go back and watch. And when they've had like big plays, tackle for losses, that kind of stuff, watch what the people are making plays by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's not program plays. They're watching the line block. They know they're going, double teaming, and they're going back door, and they're going to make plays. They're making plays outside of the context of the defense, and that's where you have the difference between the guys that we have right now. We're just not getting. We don't have those guys that are making those plays.
Yeah.
Well, Gentry's a freak for sure.
He's a freak. I mean, USC had a roughing the punter penalty that opened the door for Michigan State to get. I mean, they could have gotten one-sided. It would have been a 3-and-out, and then Michigan State came down and scored. And they caught 2 touchdowns, and then they fumbled. FC. And
Amari got the fumble, punched it right out of there.
Michigan State took advantage of a couple of mishaps, and that's smart. A good team of USC got back in the game, but once again, their defense, without Jordan Hall, and it's just a liability. They couldn't keep pace, and then SC scored, and then the 2 touchdowns was too much to overcome.
Yeah, and then the 4th down, which we had the guy open.
Oh, wide open.
Hit him. And then now they're playing with a short field or whatever. So but it was one of those games where like when it started, like we hit the out and up for the touchdown, and they came right back, but then they scored again. But then just watching those first 4 series, it to me it was like, okay, we can compete. I don't think we can win because I don't think we can stop them enough. And if I was like a USC fan, like, yeah, we're not going to lose this game. It's just a question of, how it's going to be, the final score kind of thing. I never thought that we challenged, but I just didn't think we had enough to get over the hump. And then all the things started happening that made it that much harder for us. And it was really just the disparity in my opinion, the difference in speed on defense.
Yeah.
They have so many players. Those wideouts are just so fast. I mean, he's taking a jet sweeping. He's around the corner before we can even, and then the crossing routes, they're just running so fast away from our guys, But
that Wayman Jordan, that number 2 running, I mean, he had a $157. I mean, they got they got runners. I mean, they had 283 yards running the football, did the USC Trojans.
Oh yeah, 7, 8 yards over 10 yards a carry.
They had complimentary football.
Yeah, it was.
So I thought Nick Marsh wasn't going to play. Hats off to him. He's played hurt. Only 2 receptions. I mean, Amari Kelly, maybe he got opportunity because Marsh was probably focused on defensively in the SC secondary.
Sure.
But man, you got to get the ball to Nick Marsh.
Yeah, there was times that he thought he was open and we didn't get it to him.
Nope.
You got to get the ball to your playmakers. You got to figure out ways to get it to them easier. Whatever that may be, in the slide, putting them in motion. There's plenty of ways to do it, and they got smart guys out there. They'll figure it out. But it's just a question of, well, once again, our edges were okay, but we just and we ran the ball decently, not as well as we did 2 weeks ago, but I'm not discouraged by any stretch of the imagination because they, like I said, they competed for 60 minutes. Right. Nobody put their head down. Nobody started boo-hooing, oh me, blah blah. Hey, just keep fighting, and they did that. And so with the bomb at the end, like he chucked it out there, and the kid made a play. Hey, that's what we need. We got to have those plays.
Yeah, wait, I think Aiden Childs does bring that dimension to this team. Okay, so moving forward before we move over to Michigan, because Michigan State will be playing the team. Both teams, Michigan State, are on the bye week next week, and then Michigan State will be playing the team that Michigan just played at Nebraska, at Lincoln. After watching Michigan, Nebraska, how do you think, with the bye week, getting some people healthy, hopefully, how do you think Michigan State's going to do in that game in Lincoln?
Well, like you said, we got 2 weeks to get healthy.
Yep.
And that kid, as much as he wants to be Patrick Mahomes, he ain't Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-mm.
He gets a little pressure. He can crawl up into a little ball so he don't get hit, because they was hitting him. But that's the question. Number one, boom, boom, snatch and pull. He's on the quarterback. We have to get guys like, hey man, we got to get to the quarterback out of program. You got to make plays on your own. You got to beat people, and they don't have the playmakers that USC has by any stretch.
Right.
They got players, obviously. Don't get me wrong. But they don't have them players. So I think we could go compete. We could go compete well because Michigan. I was hoping maybe we'd catch them. If this is the kind of week where we like to catch that team after the week after, not 2 weeks, because Michigan beat them up.
Yeah, they were Michigan, very physical, got a lot of sacks in this game, a lot of quarterback pressure.
Roughing them up nice. So that the defense, and like I said, my friend here posted about like who is this guy coaching? I'm like, I am a fan because I've watched him since he was at St. Francis, and he when you think about putting the money where your mouth is, well, Bill Poggi put the money where his mouth is. And he built that program at St. Francis. And he's always been a supporter of Michigan football. He's been on the staff there. And then, he did his St. Francis thing, went to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Didn't work out, came back. But, besides the cutoff shirts, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. He's a player's coach.
Very entertaining. Very entertaining.
Yeah, I like him.
He looks like the guy you'd have a beer down at One North, just sit down there and have beer and watch football all day long.
He was great. He was great on game day.
Yep. And it
was great.
And I thought Michigan, this was a big win because I think they needed this win to stay in the hunt. They had to get a split with that Nebraska USC road opportunities. And they got this one. It's going to be a challenge to stay in the hunt. The Big Ten is so good. And obviously playing USC on October 11th out at the Coliseum is going to be a challenge for Michigan. But the running game for the Wolverines, 286 yards rushing, albeit some big chunk plays from Justice Haynes and Marshall. But and then Bryce had that touchdown run. But I think this is a quality win for Michigan. They got a week
Absolutely.
to kind of savor a little bit, get Stromore back in the mix, and get ready for Wisconsin at homecoming.
Oh well, is he? Did he get fired yet?
Luke Fickle, I tell you what, the seat's a little hot up there in Madison.
And the seats were they were a lot empty. I don't even know if they did the jump around. The seats were so empty.
No, they did the jump around, but after the jump around, I think a lot of people jumped for the exits and walked down.
Yeah, and there was some definitely bad Luke Fickle language coming out of the student section. Was not pretty for him, and he'd be on the same boat with my man Dabo Sweeney. So go ahead and jump on the same boat.
Right.
Because if they firing as bad as we talked about UCLA, well, Wisconsin and Dabo, they have all the resources. Dabo just don't want to use them.
Yeah. So I got a question for you. Because there was a couple of plays. Brandon Hillman, I mean, he should be doing laps up and down or at least going up and down the stadium steps after that stupid taunting call that put Nebraska back in the game. This Hail Mary shit. I mean, I've seen it in other games. You know, I know you're an offensive line coach and you're an offensive lineman, but what would you do in that scenario defensively to negate the Hail Mary that took place for that Nebraska that tied the game at the last play of the game, gave the Huskers all the momentum? What would you do to defend it?
Well, first of all, you got to have your best 2 or 3 athletes down there.
Okay.
I don't think number 4 is one of your best athletes. Did they need a defensive end?
I'm not sure who you're talking about, but
he covered from the side. But you got to have people positioned, and then the athletes that could go up and jump and knock the ball, grab the ball. A lot of people say knock it down, whatever. That's great. But if you knock it down and it hits somebody and it bounces back up in the air, then guess what?
Yeah.
I'd rather we talk about when people throw the ball. You tell people all the time, high point the ball, go get it. High point the ball, go get it.
Well, they didn't have anybody in front of him. They didn't have anybody.
Nobody.
In front of him.
He went posted up, and then the one guy, it was actually pretty good. The Nebraska guy, he's like boxing out the other guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was done well by them, but it was done poorly by Michigan, in my opinion.
Well, the other thing is when you got Dylan Raiola, who has an arm, he's got an arm.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Able to roll him out and throw a javelin throw, like he's in a track meet and there's nobody contending him. That's problematic.
Sure.
Right? So I getting the rush going as much. I don't know. It was an aggravating moment, a learning moment for Michigan. You got to play every play, and then they could have. They allowed Nebraska. Michigan could have called timeout and made a risk factor, and they would not have thrown that. Michigan called timeout earlier.
Right.
So then Michigan had the ball in the positive side of the field. If they didn't get it, I mean, there was a lot of
that goes into the gamesmanship and the coaching and figuring out what and a lot of it just like when you don't want to call because you don't want to leave them because if they do get a first down and they got more that whole those scenarios they play themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
And this time it worked out for Nebraska.
Yeah.
Next time it might work out for Michigan. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. But you just gotta put people back there that could at least go up and go get the ball.
Yeah. That was an interesting.
But you're definitely right. So like all the momentum, like that was like should have been their launching pad for a better second half, and Michigan just took it. Michigan just taking it to them.
Well, they got chunk plays in the running game. So next week, I mean, our two teams are in bye, but man, they got some interesting games Illinois should be pissed off at themselves for being embarrassed on Bloomington. They have USC coming to them for a 12 o'clock. How do you think that's going to play out?
They might not even they're not going to recover from this.
Oh, really?
The only thing
collateral damage on this one.
Only thing that could have been worse than this game for them is if it would have been at home.
Yeah.
That's their only saving grace, that it was on the road.
Yeah.
Because that was a dismantling. All the trash talking and top 10, blah, blah. That's the kind of loss that take them and put them out the top 25.
Well, I don't know. They won't go down that far, but I mean, maybe they're. I mean, Indiana is. I go back to 62. I mean, they're good. They're really good. This transfer quarterback from Cal is really good. Man, But another big game next week, a doubleheader. We got the. Don't have to go to Michigan's off. Michigan State's off. Just sit back and watch other college football. Ohio State at Washington at 3:30, and then Oregon at Penn State for a whiteout at night. That's gonna be fun.
The Ducks in Happy Valley got my TV set for that one already.
Yeah,
ready to go. That's gonna be the game.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of Washington State. Washington's they're not bad, but I think Ohio State wins that game by 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. They're 10.5-point favorites, so that will be that. That's about right. And then Indiana is only a 2.5-point favorite at Iowa. Iowa plays such great defense, and I mean, there's a big difference playing at home and playing on the road. We know. That's why I get so impressed by teams that win on the road. Like Syracuse going down to Clemson, and I know Clemson's sputtering, and Dabo Swinney is really talking about hot seat. I just like teams. I'm just impressed by that. Who teams that just stick and don't let up. They just, how do I get this score from 7 to 14 to 21 to 20? How do I move it up? Aggressive attack offensively.
Attack. Hey, Steve Spurrier. It ain't my job to stop me.
Yeah.
It's your job. And if you can't, oh well. Sucks to be you. Get better players.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, Indiana gonna win by 2 touchdowns in Iowa. Watch and see.
Oh, you there? All right.
That offense travels. Okay. The way those kids play travels.
Okay.
They're gonna be a problem. Like and with winning comes what? More cha-ching, which means he can get better players even. Mm-hmm. And people gonna want to go there.
No, I want to wrap up this podcast with this last question. I think is going to get a riveting response from you. A lot of Michigan State friends of mine, speaking of Indiana, go, holy shit, Indiana used to suck. We've been better than them for decades. How the hell do they go from nowhere to somewhere so quickly, and how come we can't do it? What would be your response to that?
Well, we're getting there. We were a little bit behind. Well, he had the advantage. He brought a quarter of his team with him.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a very, very, very good football team.
Well, James Madison was barely into the FBS space, mind you. I mean, Jonathan Smith brought guys from Oregon State, including a really good tight end and quarterback.
No question about it. But he brought those. Okay, see, now we get into the difference of he brought guys that have been told they weren't good enough.
Okay.
And he's in his meeting rooms. You listen to him talk. He pisses you off, right?
Yeah.
When he's talking to his guys, telling them those same things, like they said you weren't good enough.
Yeah.
So what you gonna do? You gonna go out there and try to kill somebody? Mm-hmm. And that's what that first group did. And they went and got some more of those guys because they got, they're winning. They got some money to spend. Their environment's getting better. Facilities are getting better. So now it's a chance to go play in the Big Ten. That's why you get a guy from Cal to come play quarterback.
Yeah.
And now you're not missing, you're not skipping a beat. We're better. If somebody says that we're not better than we were last year or in a better place, they're absolutely stupid.
Oh no, I think that's glaring when you watch Michigan State play. Now I will say this though. Your defense is giving up too many chunk plays, too many explosive plays.
Way
Even
too many.
Youngstown State, the guy ran for shit. You can't have that happen.
No, not at all. Not at all.
They have to fix that.
And that comes, like I said, that comes with guys up front that are able to make plays out of the program. You got to be able to win one-on-one battles. Go make a play on this play. Got to make a play. The next game, maybe the next guy makes a play. That's how that works. So, I mean, but we're in a much better place. I mean, we scored 31 points. I mean,
yeah,
we ran the ball decent. We threw the ball well. I mean, they were just better than us.
Well, I mean, Michigan State has opportunities in front of them, but they got chance. I mean, the UCLA game, I think that's pretty at homecoming, and that's home. I think that they win that game.
Sure.
And the other games at Nebraska, even Michigan at home, at Indiana will be problematic, but I think they can compete in most, if not all, of the games remaining. Now, how many they win remains to be seen.
Right, and that comes with getting a few more difference makers, but that's going to happen. If the running game can continue to get better, so now the clock is getting eaten up some. We're keeping, the best defense for us is a better offense.
Yeah.
Keep our defense off the field then.
There you go.
Hold the ball. No 3 and outs.
Third down
no turnovers.
Third down conversions are huge because then all of a sudden that defense has 6 plays to rest at least minimal, and then 9, and then you know how it
exactly. And then you score a touchdown or a field goal, and you get some points, and you start feeling better about yourself.
Yeah.
What we talking about? Complementary football.
Yeah. So those defenders are looking at their tablets over there, figuring out what I did wrong, what I can do better. If that 3 and out happens, you don't have
no time. Yeah. Don't have none of that.
Mm-mm.
So.
All right. Well, we're going to have, it's going to be fun next week. We'll be back here, Coach Keyton Crawford, in the bye week. Really kind of look at the overview of college football. Maybe talk a little high school next week as well. So anyway, great job, Kerry Keyton, as always.
Got to say this, that the Trojans, we got our first W.
Yes.
That it was really, my man Baylor Shansky running again for 230, 225, 230.
Okemos 22-13.
But it was a really, really good football game. And you got to give credit. Like I said, I was a little disappointed in the Okemos fan base that they weren't there to support that team. Coach F.A. and Javi and Ruth, watching them warm up, watching the game, obviously being down 16-0 at halftime and coming back in the second half, get a turnover. Like it's a totally different look when you look at them. The kids look like football players, act like football players, and they play the game, because if you look at it, last year it was 40-50-0. The year before that it was 77-0, and now granted we don't have quite the caliber of players that we've been working with in the past, years at EL, but still it was a competitive, really competitive football game. So just happy to see that for those kids. And obviously happy for our East Lansing kids to get a W in one of the toughest 6-game stretches that I've ever been a part of.
Yeah. We'll break more of that down next week and talk about some of the other games in college football and in high school. So great job, Kerry Keyton, and as you always end it,
go green.
Go blue.